government must be serious on HIV and AIDS. More power for Port Moresby. And United Nations call for urgent JSB meeting.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me with Friday's news. It's World AIDS Day today and Moresby is one province with a high prevalence rate on HIV and AIDS. Medical officer with the Ana Moriri Daycare Centre at Engau, Dr. Elsie Ryan, says the numbers have been increasing every year. In marking World AIDS Day, staff conducted awareness supporting the right to health care.
Staff from the Ana Moriri Daycare Centre held a small yet informative awareness program today to mark World AIDS Day. Pamphlets and posters were given to hospital visitors to raise awareness on the types of services available for people living with HIV and AIDS.
It's more or less creating awareness on HIV and AIDS and the burden that it is on people living with HIV and on everyone that's caring and looking after people who are living with HIV.
Moresby has been ranked as one of the highest HIV and AIDS prevalent provinces in the country. At the end of July this year, 15,176 people were tested, 803 tested positive. With 64 HIV and AIDS testing sites in the province, more people are getting tested.
And so there's a lot more facilities now doing HIV counseling and testing, and so detecting a lot more cases as well.
Medical officer Dr. Elsie Ryan says the province has responded well to awarenesses. However, more needs to be done.
Already what we need is sustainability of such programs within the district facilities and for district administrations to capture all these HIV programs and work.
Lucy Kupana, National EMTV News, Leh.
The public have been encouraged to visit the HIV testing facilities around the nation. This call comes from Gerahu Hospital Acting Chief Executive Officer Dr. Stephen Yenny. Dr. Yenny has described HIV and AIDS as a killing machine where families are destroyed and lives lost.
Gerahu General Hospital in Port Moresby joined hands with the rest of the world and commemorated World AIDS Day. This health facility has been providing counseling and testing for HIV and AIDS. According to Dr. Yenny, prevalence rate shows 134 were tested positive in the last 10 months.
The last 10 months, we have enrolled over 3,099 patients coming in, where 134 of them have contracted the HIV virus itself.
And with National AIDS Council Secretariat challenged with limited from the national government, what's needed is for more advocacy programs to continue. It should become everyone's business, with individuals taking full responsibility. Dr. Yenny says facilities should be freely accessed for treatment.
The scenario of HIV is something that all of us has to be proactive about advocacy in terms of supporting people, treating early awareness and detection of the virus. We as a health institution here, we need to support. We need to provide that kind of support and treatment that people living with this virus must have in terms of freely accessing our facility, in terms of getting the treatment and counseling as well.
HIV can be managed if only individuals remain faithful to their partners and safe sex practices like using condoms.
So all in all, we must work together as a team to prevent this increasing incident of HIV, and also we must assist people living with this deadly virus as well. So I support the sentiments for those people who are advocating for abstinence from, especially within the couples marriage area, that we must be faithful to our couples, and so that can prevent us from the spread of this deadly virus.
However, with the stigma and discrimination being a challenge, Dr. Yenny says more advocacy programs are to continue. It should target children and youths in areas like schools and also the workplace. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
Banane Governor Peter Yama is questioning why there is no work done to the official governor's residence at Kalibobo Drive when a 550,000 kina payment was made. Yama says the money was paid to a construction company in October this year when he was already elected as governor. The payment was for the refurbishment and maintenance work.
This is the official governor's residence at Kalibobo Drive in the Ward 2 area of Manag Urban. In October this year, a payment was made to a building construction company to carry out maintenance and refurbishment on the property. But Governor Peter Yama is questioning why paying 550,000 kina to maintain and refurbish the property when there's no one living there.
550,000. And there's no 550,000 on the property. And I'm a governor, I'm living in the house. Why are they using my name? I'm already a governor living in the house. Why are they maintaining my house? And no one is maintaining my house. And why are they paying money? They already paid. And that money they went to the bank and they cashed the check out in less than 2 days. Check is approved, 300,000. They cashed them all out. If it's a genuine company, why didn't they let the money in the account? Why go in the bank and put that check in now and 1 day later, second day, third day, all out, money out?
The internal investigation into the Manag provincial government accounts has revealed that there were 2 separate payments made. Governor Peter Yama says the contract was for 150,000 kina, but it went up to 550,000 kina. The first payment of 150,000 kina was paid using the PSIP grants. However, he says another 400,000 kina was approved and paid again.
Police will have to find out why they're paying that money in my house. Because if job was done maybe how many years ago already, but they may be coming saying, pay governor's house for variation of contract or something. But this job is not done. And the contract was for about, how much? 100,000 something. 100,000 something. 150,000. But it went up to 550,000.
Meanwhile, the 550,000 kina misappropriated is the result of the internal investigation into the Manag provincial government accounts. Last Thursday, the National Fraud and Anti-Corruption Port Moresby-based team arrested the Manag building inspector Barry Metan and the owner of the building construction company Elias Yengi. The two were arrested for misappropriating 550,000 kina intended for refurbishment and maintenance of the official governor's residence. Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Manag.
The United Nations wants the Joint Supervisory Body meeting to quickly reconvene after being deferred many times. This is an important meeting between the national and autonomous Bougainville governments to discuss issues leading towards the 2019 referendum.
Sign this agreement, they have to make sure that it is delivered in the way, in line with what was envisaged.
Concerns have been raised on the continuous deferral of the JSB meeting. Secretary General and PNG representative in New York told parties to the Bougainville Peace Agreement, the government of the independent state of Papua New Guinea and the autonomous Bougainville government that the United Nations is supportive, but it's them to ensure peace is achieved.
One of the things that ASG Gensha said to both governments is, look, we as UN and all of the partners really want to support both governments to make sure that the peace agreement is achieved. In that, for that to happen, it is really vital that this next joint supervisory board, which consists of the Prime Minister and the President, they meet and they try and work out what needs to happen and take some of the critical decisions.
One critical decision is the establishment of the Bougainville Referendum Commission. But while there's progress, greatest challenge is an autonomy review.
That there is actually quite a lot of progress on some of these things. The big stumbling block has been on the financing. And I know that national government, together with the ABG, are currently discussing that. And I hope at the JSB we will get some resolution.
Today is the first day of December and Trivedi says the decision on the Bougainville referendum is important.
This decision on the referendum commission needs to be taken this year. It can't be left to next year when national government will have many other priorities, including APEC. So we hope that Prime Minister and President Momis, etc., will meet and to take the decisions that are required.
The resident coordinator says United Nations will continue to dialogue with both governments for the referendum conduct.
And then the officials will need to support all of the things that need to be done further on. And the United Nations will continue to support both governments to do that, and bringing in the staff, the capability, whatever we can do on our side.
Meanwhile, during a press conference in August, Bougainville Affairs Minister Father Simon Dumarino said the JSB meeting will be his priority as agreed for in the Bougainville Peace Agreement.
The sooner the better. So as soon as we get into the office and start rolling, I think this is the intention and issue is in our hands. So we will continue, because these are the decision makers to drive us to translate what is need to be translated in their discussion and in their meetings.
The Bougainville Affairs Minister says the deadline is near, but a date is yet to be set. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
PNG Air has announced its continued sponsorship towards MTV's Vocal Fusion program. Chief Commercial Officer Paul Abbott says the airline is supporting and promoting local talents as part of its community service obligation.
PNG Air has been a major sponsor as official carrier for MTV's popular program Vocal Fusion. The airline has committed to continue its sponsorship in the next season.
Yeah, we've been really happy with Vocal Fusion and what that's done, not only for us as a brand within Papua New Guinea, but also, just as I mentioned before, the support for local talent. And when you sit and listen to what's happening on MTV Vocal Fusion and you see the talent that's available and that's out there, it's just wonderful. So no, we're more than happy. We'll be back there again next year and looking forward to another good season of Vocal Fusion.
The finalists from Season 5 will be selected to be part of the in-flight entertainment team for this Christmas period.
Just another chance for us to acknowledge the great work that's done by the team at MTV and Vocal Fusion in supporting local PNG talent, and our way of giving something a little bit back to our customers in terms of in-flight entertainment to make the trip a little bit more enjoyable and give them a taste of Papua New Guinea as they're travelling from point A to point B during that very busy and very hectic Christmas period.
In the meantime, Board of Directors Chairman Mari Wu says the festive season required capacity, and PNG Air's commitment is to meet customers' demand.
Because we know there is such a big demand in the travelling public to go home to help celebrate with their families for this festive period. And we are very happy that we have the extra capacity to help bring them to the home and share Christmas with the family.
The chairman has thanked customers, board and management and the staff for the contribution to PNG Air's success in the last 2 years.
On behalf of PNG Air, the board and management, and all our crew and staff, we actually want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
113 security personnel and stakeholders at the surrounding Kagamuga International Airport underwent a week-long training on bomb search in Mount Hagen. The training was facilitated by the Australian Federal Police, Royal PNG Constabulary, together with the PNG Defence Force. Yesterday, participants received 2 certificates on bomb search, security and risk management. The training is in preparation for the upcoming APEC meeting to be held in selected main centres.
The course itself is tailored around, bomb search, aviation security, and risk management. These are courses that we feel that is very important for our officers in the main centers. And so far, we have delivered this course to all our major centers, and Hagen is the last one now.
Police Commissioner Gary Baki warned police personnel to remain neutral and not entertain attempts by people to extort money from others. Commissioner Baki made this comment following a recent incident in Hela Province where people from Poroma hijacked 10 trucks and a Toyota 10-seater for Trans Wonderland and then forced people from Angora to pay a 3 million kina compensation claimed for a young man killed in a car accident 3 years ago. The standoff was not resolved until the freight trucks were commandeered and impounded in Poroma, costing operators of the HUD's gas project millions of kina. Bucky says due to the upsurge of criminal activities and unnecessary roadblocks and demands disrupting delivery of essential services throughout the Highlands region, a long-term proposal is being considered for the permanent deployment of police and soldiers into the area. National EMTV News will be back with more after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It took time, effort and determination to have a vast area of 360,000 hectares of land to be declared a conservation area. The Managalas people of Northern Province have allowed their plateau to be conserved.
The 29th of November 2017 marked a very significant day for the people of Managalas Plateau of Oro Province. 360,000 hectares of their land was officially declared a conservation area. The Managalas area will contribute 1% of protected land area, bringing the total of protected areas in Papua New Guinea to 4%. Governor for Oro, Gary Jufa, thanked the landowners of Managalas for what he points out as an investment.
I want to acknowledge our landowners, those who are custodians of our land here, who in their wisdom have made a significant sacrifice. But I can tell you it is not a sacrifice, it is an investment. It is an investment for our future generations. What you have done is priceless. You cannot put a price tag to what you have achieved here.
The people of Managalas have been working on having their area declared a conservation area for over 2 decades. And finally, on the 22nd of March this year, it was gazetted by NEC to have it declared a conservation area. The Managalas Plateau is rich with biodiversity.
We got 10 plus 3 kangaroos long well. Now 7 plus or this plus 3 kangaroos here, or 8 plus long here. Stop Papua New Guinea tasol. You believe in this plow or no what? Leg up place tasol me talking you. 7 plow, 8 plow, or 3 kangaroo here. Stop Papua New Guinea na 2 plow, stop Managalas. Am I right, huh? We got 18 plus species of birds of paradise la Papua New Guinea. Managalas you only 5 la. And then topping them all off. 1 plus species were endemic. Lo Managalas tasol, lo Oro province tasol, ino lo Papua New Guinea. Ino lo world too. Lo Managalas tasol, lo Oro province. This la bedwing Alexandria, bedwing butterfly.
Minister Pundari pledged 50,000 kina to the People's Coffee Project and another 10,000 kina to support the people with their sustainable projects. Florence John Duo, National EMTV News.
Experimental seabed mining is soon to be trialled in the country as early as 2019. The University of Papua New Guinea School of Natural and Physical Sciences hosted a public lecture that provided critical assessments and evaluation on concerns of experimental seabed mining and challenges impacting sustainable ocean resource management. The world's first commercial mining in the Bismarck Sea has attracted volume of critics, with former Chief Justice Sir Arnold Ahmet describing the project as Papua New Guinea pig experiments.
Audience now have a fair idea of the broad research in fisheries, sustainable resource management, science and marine resource on seabed mining. UPNG's Professor Chalapan Kaluwin says deep-sea mining would be the first of its kind experimented in PNG. However, more awareness on environmental impacts is needed.
Now the whole world is shifting to the ocean. So we just happen to be one of those countries that they're targeting. Being in the Pacific, the ocean is vibrant, but it causes problems as well. Just because it's an ocean, don't think it's a sleeping giant. The resources in mineralization is massive in the ocean. So investors are slowly moving into the ocean. They will leave the land and they'll slightly move to the ocean. But it comes with complications. You don't know how to get into the ocean underneath there. So technology is not easy. Nobody has developed any technology to go 2,000 meters under the ocean.
Environmentalists says it's unpredictable because no technology was developed for deep sea mining and not also tested in the waters of PNG. And Manag MP Brian Kramer was concerned on the lack of policy implementation, adding most politicians invite investors for their own interest and fail to consult legitimate landowners.
If you are able to scour the Environmental Act or whatever provisions of laws that we have, environmental law, mining law, where you can see there's a breach or potential breach of conflict, and then if you bring it to the attention of like myself or members of the opposition, then we will happily support to mount a challenge in court.
Former Chief Justice Sir Arnold Ahmed, in a statement, strongly opposed the deep-sea mining which possess high level of uncertainty of health risk and marine environmental damages. He says the proposed site is situated within traditional fishing grounds and is a threat to coastal communities who depend on the sea and land for survival. Stacey Yalo, National, MTV News.
Vendors of fresh fruits and vegetables at the recently opened Saraga market at 6 Mile say they are not attracting customers. They claim the new location has caused security concerns for their customers and as such most of their items are not sold. They are calling on the Saraga Police Footbeat Patrol to be resonated to provide security for both vendors and customers.
A month ago, these vendors were excited to move into a new proper market. Funded by the New Zealand government in partnership with the government of Papua New Guinea, the market supports mothers around Northeast and Moresby South communities to sell their produce to support their families. However, they say the location has scared away their customers.
So the market na plenty man no clear to us. Also pore to this place where place no. So plenty man no come to us no market no here.
Most of these mothers have to travel to Malauro, Waigani and 4 Mile markets to buy bags of vegetables and fruits to bring them to 6 Mile to sell. However, the disbanding of the Saraga Police Footbeat Patrol has posed security concerns for both customers and the vendors.
Since market them start day one, last month, beginning of last month, no one big problem come up because six Saraga police station, all policemen come. Staff no operate lab every day in 7 days a week. Namda looking ogara security side blow. Lem also move go come at least providing good security. Want them support blow security from the main market yet. But since all go down low, bomana last week low having cost blow, maybe experiencing some little problem to solve them.
Mr. David says the market management also has its own security arrangements, but the presence of police is needed in this location because of opportunists. Nevertheless, he says the people are happy with the new market facility. They are also inviting other fruits and vegetable vendors at Malauro to join them in the new market if Malauro is too crowded for them. Stacey Yalo, National, MTV News.
Lays National Polytechnic Institute is in the process of establishing the Center of Excellence. It's a project aimed to deliver education with globally recognized qualifications, supported by the Higher Education Departments and the Australian Government.
The Institute's organizing committee will present a strategy to the National Department of Education to roll out the program of Lays Center of Excellence next year. This program will allow students studying at the National Polytechnic Institute of PNG to graduate with certificates recognized globally. The institution graduated more than 500 students with diplomas, certificates and special awards yesterday.
We have good lecturers here, we have qualified lecturers who are teaching here in the institution, and I believe by coming here and if applying and if given the privilege of coming to Polytech, I believe when going out back to workforce or in whatever sectors that you are in, and you add value to you will add value to the nation and even add value to your family and wherever the job career is.
The National Education Board established the National Polytechnic Institute of PNG in 2008 and was officially launched on the 2nd of December in 2009. The National Department of Education established the institution as the first of 4 polytechnics planned to be created in each of the 4 regions of the country. Before the establishment, the former technical institution was known as Lay Technical College. The institute is currently headed by the director, Mr. Graham Bidang, in 2010.
The cabinet decision for all institutions that are offering a post-secondary school to come under DS, we're kind of in a transition period, and we would like to see that, any opportunity that will help us to progress the Lay Center of Excellence, we would like to take those opportunities.
Bidang says the institute has been contributing and responding to the challenges and demands from the industry since 1954 during its Lay Technical College days and will continue to do so. He said with the government attention focused on TVET, the institute would be better resourced to meet the targets in educating and skilling the workforce. Bidang has called on the government to provide the support needed to help the institute deliver a certified center that is globally recognized.
We do get some kind of operational funds from our education through TVET, but for the last 2 years, that grant has not been coming. And it has been always around 100,000. That is almost a month's utility bill. But basically, we operate on school fees that parents pay.
Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Lay.
Within the next 18 months, Port Moresby can expect to have a more reliable power supply. Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited has partnered with Oil Search to construct a gas-fired power plant. When completed, it's expected to provide over 57 megawatts of power to the Port Moresby electricity grid.
This week, Public Enterprise and State Investment Minister William Duma officially launched the construction phase of Port Moresby's next power plant. This development, the result of a joint venture between Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, KPHL, and Oil Search, in an effort to address much-needed electricity demand in the capital through the provision of gas from the PNG LNG project. When complete, this power plant aims to supply 57.8 megawatts of power to PNG Power's Port Moresby grid through the Gerhu substation. According to Minister Duma, this additional energy will be enough to satisfy the demand for power from consumers in and around Port Moresby.
Papua New Guinea, like other countries, is now thinking very seriously in taking that step to shift from enjoying energy supplied by diesel-powered power stations to gas-fired power stations, which, as we all know, are much more cleaner, cheaper.
This facility is being developed by New Power, a joint venture between Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited and Oil Search at a cost of 375 million kina.
We've had PNG LNG project constructed, and this is the first time that we will see gas come out of the fence for power project. So this is a very significant milestone for the country and also for the two companies, Oil Search as well as Kumul Petroleum, for building the first gas-fired power station.
When completed, this facility will utilize gas from the PNG LNG project, one way of adding value to this key resource.
Power is a very strong joint venture between the national oil company, Kumul Petroleum, and Oil Search. It's one that we believe is a tremendous platform to grow and help facilitate the growth of new power business in Papua New Guinea. We thank the support that we've had from Minister Duma, from the various companies, our teams that have been working very closely together in Kumul and Oil Search, and of course the team from PNG Power, which has supported our project.
This project was approved by the National Executive Council and will see New Power become an independent power producer, selling electricity to PNG Power under a power purchase agreement. Mirabatulo, National EMTV News.
750,000 kina is left and up for grabs as part of Telecom's top-up and win cash promotion. Regional Network Operations Manager Winnie Andreas says the promotion is part of Telecom's appreciation to its valued customers. Today was another lucky draw where winners walked home with 5,000 kina.
We have 100,000 to give away. Out of that, so far we've given 25,000.
5 lucky winners were drawn today. The lucky winners, all walking away with 1,000 kina cash, went to the following numbers.
So if you buy 10, for example, if you buy 20 kinas, you have 10 chances. If you buy 50 kinas, you have 10 chances also. So your chances of winning 1,000 is high if you buy more of 20 kinas or 50 kinas or 100 kinas.
Andreas urged those wanting to be part of the draw to spend at least a minimum of 20 kina, or those wishing to purchase 50 or 100 kina top card or online purchasing.
We would like to see this one going, and if it is, if it becomes effective and we see customers coming to be part of it, and we see it's effective, then we will be able to come up with other promotions.
With 75,000 kina still up for grabs, there are more chances of winning the weekly draw.
And 75,000, I tell you, is a lot of money. It's a giveaway from Telecom PNG to all its valuable customers out there who have been loyal to Telecom PNG for a good number of years.
The next draw is next Friday. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
The Dow Jones Industrial Averages have surged to yet another new height, with the stocktake index jumping more than 330 points by the closing bell, and for the first time ever crossed the 24,000 mark. And here's a look at the day's final numbers. Investors are excited by the prospects for the corporate techs. The US stocks have been surging all year, and the Dow Jones have gained 6,000 points, which is the 79th time the market has had a new height during the year. And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at 0.3115 US dollars in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying 0.304 US dollars, 0.3986 Australian dollars, 0.2516 euro and 33.88 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, copra closed higher, coffee and cocoa closed the day lower. Crude oil is trading higher, palm oil closed higher, while copper closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 331 points higher, the ASX closed at 19 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 18 points higher. National EMTV News continues with stories making headlines overseas after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas, Pope Francis is set to celebrate the Holy Mass and ordain priests in Bangladesh. He arrived in Dhaka for a visit to Myanmar. The pontiff praised Bangladesh for giving refugees shelter. He says no one can fail to be aware of the immense toll of human suffering involved.
It is imperative that the international community take decisive measures to address this grave crisis, not only by working to resolve the political issues that have led to the mass displacement of people, but also by offering immediate material assistance to Bangladesh in its efforts to respond effectively to urgent human needs.
The Trump administration is seriously considering recognizing Jerusalem as a capital of Israel earlier next month.
Well, that's exactly right. It was an issue that was supposed to be left to a decision made by the parties in a negotiated agreement. The status of the city of Jerusalem was one of the core issues that would have to be resolved at the negotiating table. And for decades, administrations in the White House have refused to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of either Israel or Palestine precisely for that reason. In taking this step, if he in fact does this, President Trump would really be shifting away from decades of American foreign policy on this issue, which has been one of the few places in which American foreign policy on the question of Israel-Palestine has held consistent and has also refused to take a side between two disputed claimants. So if he does in fact take this step, and it seems like that is what sources are now confirming to you, it would be much, much harder for the United States to retain any credibility, the little credibility that they had left, as an even-handed mediator between both sides. If anything, it would only become clear, more clear, that the Americans have their thumb on the scale for the stronger party here, which is the Israelis, and are not acting as a mediator. It's hard to see how anyone could come to the conclusion that such a decision would make the prospects of peace better.
Disney has found the actress who will star in the remake of Mulan, and the fact the Chinese actress was chosen for a Chinese role is making headlines.
A young Chinese maiden disguises herself as a warrior to save her father. The story of Disney's Mulan will once again hit the big screen. 2 decades after its initial release, the popular animated film is getting a live-action remake. And Disney's pick for the starring role is getting global praise. Chinese actress Liu Yifei was handpicked from nearly 1,000 candidates to play the famed heroine Hua Mulan, to the delight of many of her compatriots.
I think this is something great for China. I think this is a very, very good thing, and this is something for us, for Chinese people, to be proud of.
Hollywood films have come under fire of late for so-called whitewashing, casting white actors in non-Western roles, particularly Asian characters, like the Chinese epic The Great Wall, which cast Matt Damon as its lead character.
Let me fight with you.
Or Scarlett Johansson's starring role in a remake of the Japanese anime Ghost in the Shell. But Disney was reportedly determined to cast an actress of Chinese descent, preferably with some skills in martial arts and fluent in English, as its main character in Mulan.
I remember in the past, most American productions filmed in China had Jackie Chan or Jet Li, right? So this is the first time I've heard of a Chinese woman playing the lead role. I'm very much looking forward to this.
The 30-year-old Chinese native is a well-known actress and model in the country. She's also appeared in some Western films, like the 2014 movie Outcast with Nicolas Cage.
Father chose you because he knows you're strong.
Her upcoming role as the Disney heroine was met with mostly delight and some ambivalence.
What Chinese believe are beautiful women, Westerners believe are just ordinary. But some people who most Chinese think are ugly, Westerners think they're very beautiful. So the aesthetics of beauty is different, and the product of what they film will be different.
Critics and fans alike will have to make their final judgment when Mulan the movie releases in 2019.
Trucha Sports is next with some updates from the 7th PNG Games. Stay tuned.
Trucha Sports.
Welcome to Trucha Sports. The 7th PNG Games in Kimbe is slowly winding down to its final with only less than 42 hours before its closing ceremony. The PNG Games Council Committee Peter Tsamalili has expressed gratitude on how the 2-week-long sporting event was handled by everyone who participated. Despite being largely criticized for being delayed, Mr. Tsamalili says the 2-week event in Kimbe has proven the critics wrong.
The Games itself in West New Britain has been such a wonderful experience for everyone in West New Britain. It has changed the people's mindset. It has contributed back into the economy. And obviously it's going to leave a lasting legacy. And it's something wonderful that sport continues to have and drive within our young nation. And I'm proud that under my chairmanship, we are able to build this beautiful facility like none other outside of Port Moresby and Lae. So it is a platform that we're looking for that other games may be able to aspire to and achieve the same. At the same token, we will work closely with the next host to ensure that they have a facility that is not so extravagant, but that is something suitable for their province, that is easily maintained, and that the future generation of the province can continue to enjoy.
Robert Agarobe says the team's central contingent participating in the 7th PNG Games in Kimbe has made the central people proud. Governor Agarobe says despite the short preparations and economic struggles, central athletes have performed exceptionally well.
The officials and the team, the players themselves put a lot of effort in. They put a lot of effort in the preparations, and I think the preparations were not that long. It only took them a short while to get themselves prepared. I could see that a lot of them had their heart in it, and they've done a lot of the organizing themselves. So a lot of the preparation efforts, a lot of them put that in themselves. When I came in, a lot of my input was at the last minute, and because I didn't really know what was going on at the same time. But I got to give a lot of credit to the team management. The team management and the team officials did play their part, even though as the government I wasn't really there because I was too busy playing politics. They did put a lot of effort in for the preparations to come here.
Trucha Sports continues after the break. Don't go away.
Trucha Sports.
Welcome back to Trucha Sports. Kangaroos had their final training run in preparation for the Rugby League World Cup final against England at Suncorp Stadium tomorrow night. Australia's captain Cameron Smith is refusing to buy Inter-England coach Wayne Bennett's mind game. Bennett has accused the Kangaroos of deliberately slowing ruck defence, but Smith says it's just a tie of tactic from the master coach.
Not overly shocked by that. I think every big game that I've played in and Wayne's been the opposition coach, it's something's found its way into the media.
The Rugby League World Cup kicks off tomorrow. World Cup doubleheader begins with the Jillaroos and Kiwi Ferns. This will be followed by the Kangaroos taking England at 7 p.m. The 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia has 32 nations qualified. After today, we'll see the final draw. It's the first time Russia is hosting the tournament, which kicks off on June 14, 2018. 12 stadiums across 11 different cities will be used. Moscow will host 2 venues, another stadium at Ekaterinburg. FIFA says stadiums were built according to their safety and security requirements. And that ends Trucha Sports. The weather details up next.
Trucha Sports. Trucha Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight in the southern region, a shower or two tonight, then fine in Port Moresby, fine weather in Daru, Alotau and Popondetta, and a few showers in Kerema. In the Mamase region, fine weather in Lae, few showers in Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, showers and thunderstorms in Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, few showers in Kimbe and showers in Buka. And in the Highlands region, showers and morning fog in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Before we go, a quick look at our stories making headlines. Government must be serious on HIV and AIDS. More power for Port Moresby, and United Nations call for urgent JSB meeting. And that's the news for Friday, the 1st of December 2017. From the entire news team, have a safe weekend. Good night.